I read an article from the New York Times that Bill Gates had just donated $50 million to Kamala Harris's campaign. And the article said that it was the first donation that he's made in 20 years, that he stayed out of politics. It was a dark money donation. He didn't intend for it to be public. He routed the donation through a 501c4, which was an organization that was set up to conceal large money donations to the Harris campaign. Do you think he made it out of a humanitarian impulse? Well, there was something else, another article about Bill Gates that came out today that said he's just been indicted.
A court in the Netherlands has ruled that Bill Gates, along with other defendants, including Pfizer CEO Bourla and former Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte, must stand trial over allegations related to injuries caused by COVID-19 vaccines. The case, brought by 7 plaintiffs, claims that Gates and others misled the public about the safety of these vaccines, asserting they knew the vaccines were not safe or effective. This legal action represents a significant challenge to Gates, focusing on his role in the global push for vaccinations through his foundation's involvement in the pandemic response.
We should have free speech, but if you're inciting violence, if you're causing people not to take vaccines, where are those boundaries that even the U.S. should, have rules? And then if you have rules, what is it? Is there some AI that encodes those rules? Because you have billions of activity and, if you catch it a day later, the harm is done.
In my medical opinion, these are the most toxic pharmaceutical products that have ever been released on the market. And, of course, most profitable. As we heard from Dr. Julie Panes, Pfizer last year made revenues of over $100 billion. That's just Pfizer. That doesn't include Moderna. That doesn't include BioNTech. Of course, you had AstraZeneca, Johnson & Johnson, and so on. This is a multi-$100 billion industry. And it seems that nobody cares how many people get hurt, how many people get injured, how many people die. And to give you an idea for the scale of the vaccine injuries, 10 to 15%, this is straight out of CDC, vSafe data, where people were actually recording their side effects into an app. About 10 million people, they didn't want to release the data, they were forced to release it. About 10 to 15% have had a serious injury. About 1% have been permanently disabled. This is coming out of US insurance data. Edward Dowd has been reporting on this. And about 0.1% have died. These are excess deaths that are unexplainable, and 0.1% may not sound like a lot, but that's 1 in 1,000.
Why did it take numerous legal demands, multiple appeals, 2 lawsuits in fact, before the CDC finally handed over the vSafe data, which is already de-identified data for the most part that they provided just 2 days ago, 144 million lines of code that they could have provided in a matter of minutes at any point. Now that we have the data, we could see that getting the vaccine caused 25% of people who got the shot within this data set of 10 million people to miss work, to have some serious event affecting their normal life functions.
The lawsuit was filed in Leeuwarden, challenging the jurisdiction of the Dutch court over Gates, who resides in the U.S. However, the court dismissed Gates' objection, establishing jurisdiction due to the interconnectedness of the claims against all defendants, which are rooted in a common set of facts concerning the global response to the COVID-19 crisis. This ruling could set a precedent for similar cases globally, highlighting the complexities of international law when dealing with high-profile figures involved in worldwide health initiatives. John Bound reporting for Infowars.com.